Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I just got the new Max Up the Makeup Sweater Weather palette in the mail, and I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and do some swatches and a first impression, just testing the palette out and seeing the quality. So here is what it looks like on the inside. It is definitely a really adorable fall palette. It has some really warm pops and some green pops. There's like this mustard, a really beautiful greeny gold that I cannot wait to get all over my lid because I'm so into that kind of shade right now. And the packaging just overall is so cute, which is pretty much on trend for Max Up the Makeup. So I was really excited to receive this. It was something that I kind of considered and I looked at, and I decided not to purchase myself because I knew I couldn't justify purchasing it with everything that I have in my collection, although I do think that it is really beautiful. However, the brand reached out and said that they would be sending it to me as PR, and I was grateful just because I've had so much fun trying out their other palettes, and I think the quality is all really good. So I thought, what the heck, I'll go ahead and try out basically like their version of a neutral palette. Although, to be fair, I looked through all their palettes and I feel like, again, they all go together so well, and the overall theme is kind of like warm with a pop of blue or green, which you can definitely see here with the little bops the little bops of green. It's kind of like a mini condensed version of the Morphe 3503, but I would 100% prefer this because the packaging is so cute. It's so much smaller. It's a small indie brand, and they've never done anything like this before. And then, just in case you're not familiar with them, they also have the Flower Child palette, which I did a first impression, 3 looks, and a review on my channel. So here's what that looks like, which you can see. A little bit of warm with a pop of blue and green. Of course, the warm kind of gets into pink in this one, but I love that palette. And then they had Ready Set Summer this summer, which again, so freaking cute. And then again, really warm with some pops of blue, a little bit of green. So I think that if you did have all their palettes, like I'm looking through them. I looked through them before I even started filming, and I don't see any repeating shades. There's some that are like maybe just, you know, a little bit close to each other, but none that are the exact same, which I appreciate, and I think that like they'll all go together really well. So I'm excited about it. I'm sorry, I'm blabbering. I'm always blabbering, but anyways, just to give you the quick details on this palette, it is available now. It retails for $35, which their other palettes are 9 pans and retail for $25. So it's $10 more, but you do get 6 more pans of eyeshadow. I feel like when I was looking at this, I probably could have condensed this down to a 9-pan color scheme, and I was thinking of like the shades that I would personally choose. So for me, I feel like there is a little bit like unnecessary shades. Like, for example, the shade Cream is not something I see myself using a whole bunch. This shade Fleece, again, not something I would use. So this is cruelty-free and vegan, and it has a net weight of 2.0 grams or... oh wait, no, sorry, it says 2 grams times 15 or 0.071 ounces times 15. So let's just go ahead and swatch it. And I had to go ahead, like I had a t-shirt on and I was like, I have to put on a sweater to do the sweater weather palette because it really is starting to be sweater weather. So it was fitting, and now I'm warm and cozy, so it's all good. I'm going to go ahead and just pull up my sleeve and we can do some swatches. Oh, and I forgot to mention, but I am affiliated with Max Up the Makeup, so the link that I have down below will be affiliated, and if you want to use the code AMYLOVES, then you can save 10% off your order, and I make a small commission. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do Frosty, which is like a really nice, just kind of pale white shimmery shade, which I love these kind of shades. Sometimes for the inner corner, sometimes for the brow bone highlight. Actually, I'm probably going to end up using that on my face today just to try it out. And then we've got Fleece, which is a really light tan color. And then Harvest, which is kind of like a light yellowy brown. They all feel super smooth so far. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit more of that one. Okay, next we have Tea, which looks to have okay pigment. It looks a little bit more sheer, but it feels super soft in the pan. I feel like Max Up the Makeup, their matte formula is like more of like super soft but pretty buildable. Then we have the shade Cider, which is kind of like a metallic copper. Oops. Kind of messed that swatch up, but that's okay. Okay, next we have Toasty, which is kind of just your average mid-tone warm brown. And then Syrup, which I'm super excited about. Yeah. Looks like a super intense yellowy greeny gold. And then Cream, just like a light white. Actually, Cream showed up pretty well. Okay, next we have Cinnamon, which is a warm mid-tone brown. That one looks really nice. Who am I? Who am I? I don't know. Okay, next we have Crisp, which is a really bright kind of, yeah, I would say a bright true red. And then the one next to it is Maple, and it looks to be a bright true orange. Next we have the shade Flannel, which I'm super drawn to this type of shade. It looks like a burgundy. Actually, swatching it, I feel like that one doesn't feel quite as soft as the others. It feels a little bit harder in the pan. These two felt drier as well, but the pigmentation was there, whereas this one is a little bit less. And then there's Cozy, which is like a really rich, warm brown. And then last but not least is Bonfire, which looks to be a cool toned brown. Oh yeah, there's Flannel. Of course, the one shade I'm like, I'm so excited for this. It doesn't swatch that well. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and like just dig my finger in a little bit more. Yeah, okay. I'm slightly disappointed by Flannel because I love that kind of color so much and it's not showing up very well, but maybe we'll see how it ends up working with a brush. So there's what it looks like a little closer up. Okay, so after swatching them all, I just wanted to compare two shades really quickly. So one is Sunkissed from the Ready Set Summer palette, and then the other would be Syrup from the Sweater Weather palette. Okay, so those are the two shades I feel like the closest, and this is Ready Set Summer, and this is Sweater Weather. So actually I feel like I can see even more of a difference in the metallic formula, because the first palette, Flower Child, my only real criticism of that palette was that I felt like these shimmers weren't that intense, and then with the Ready Set Summer I thought that this was definitely nicer, but looking at Syrup I feel like that's even more intense, so I'm excited to see that happening. I love intense shimmers, so okay. Even though they are kind of similar colors, Syrup is a little bit deeper, and like I said, you can definitely see the difference. The formula is improving as they, you know, go on and learn a few things, so I'm excited about that. Just to show you an example, I guess I could do like maybe like Festival from the first palette. I don't even know what shade to choose, but just a shimmer to show you. To see the formula growth, because like this barely, it just has like the tiniest sheen to it, and then this was a little bit more, and then even more, so I'm excited. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of different directions I could take this look, but I kind of feel like I want to do like a really warm lid with a pop of green on the lower lash line, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Harvest, and I'm just going to pop that into my crease with a big old fluffy brush. Okay, so I forgot to talk, but it's blending out really nicely. It is kind of, I mean, I wouldn't call it sheer or anything, but I am using a super fluffy brush just because I wanted to get that kind of just like really diffused all over blend. But I definitely love that kind of color. And I think that this with the greens is going to be really, really pretty. Can't wait to do that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and grab Maple. And I'm going to put that right into my crease. feel like I forgot to talk again. So the pigmentation is really nice. It's a very bright orange. I feel like I haven't done a fall look like this in forever. I'm going to go back into a touch more of Harvest, that first shade, and just kind of blend over the edge because I want to make sure that yellow is peeking through. So far, the matte quality feels really good. Everything's blending really nice. I mean, that's a beautiful transition, and I barely did anything, so I'm happy with that. But now, the true test, I'm going to go ahead and use flannel on my brush and just see how much pigment we can pick up, because I really want to love that shade. I really want it to not be a dud, so let's see. Okay, well, it's showing up at least. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just circle that in my outer V. So I do feel like that's a little bit lighter than what I thought it was going to be. Kind of the rich burgundy I wanted it to be, but it is showing up, so that's good. But I think it could definitely be a little bit better. Again, just going to go ahead into my previous brush and just blend out the edges. Alright, so I think I'm kind of torn between going in with Cozy and Toasty to deepen it up a little bit more. I think maybe I'll just go in with Toasty. Just going to throw that over my outer V too. Just want a little bit extra depth. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and grab T, and I'm going to pop that onto the front of my lower lash line. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and grab Pine. I feel like that's pretty bold, which I like, but it looks a little bit too, like, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my fluffy brush and blend it out a little bit. Alright, so now for my lid, I'm going to go ahead and go in with Syrup, of course, because I'm so excited about that shade. The one thing, too, to keep in mind here is that there is only 3 shimmer options, which I wish that some of the, like, especially Fleece and Cream, I wish one of those had been taken out and a different shimmer option would have been in here, just because I feel like 3 shimmers versus 9 mattes is not my ideal ratio. But that looks really good. I didn't add any additional eye primer. I didn't spray my brush or anything. I just dipped in. And it's very intense. Honestly, I feel like the shimmer to look like that with being picked up by just a regular brush, no finger, no spray, no extra glitter primer, anything, I'm highly impressed. This is just like literally like the $1 e.l.f. brush. So I really like that. I am going to go ahead and grab one of my previous brushes and just slightly blend the crease a little bit so it's not a harsh line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and dip into Frosty. And I'm going to pop that onto my inner corner. It is a very neutral inner corner highlighter, which isn't my go-to, but I'm always 100% more happy when a palette does have an inner corner highlight, and this does have a really nice reflect to it. Also gonna grab just a tiny little touch of that and highlight underneath my brow bone. Alright, so I feel like the greens, although I do love green, I'm not sure if I absolutely love these green tones with this palette. I feel like I would have liked it more if they were a little bit more grungy, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this shade Bonfire, which is, you know, the more cool tone brown, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that on the lower lash line to make these greens look a little bit more grungy, a little bit darker. Alright, really quickly before I finish up my eyes, I figured just because I already have it out, I'm going to go ahead and grab Frosty on the Anastasia A23, which I have not used in forever. I don't know if you can tell by the brushes that I'm using in this video, but I need to wash my brushes because I'm like using brushes I don't like that much. But maybe I shouldn't own them if I don't like them that much. But just wanted to go ahead and highlight with this. I mean, it's a pretty light pale white. Nothing too special, but it does highlight pretty well for my skin tone, so Actually, you know what you could do? You know what I used to do all the time with neutral palettes? Like this shade Cream, I would totally use that to set underneath my eyes. Actually, that might be cakey, I don't know. That used to be my go-to thing. I would always use like the Kat Von D, I think it was the Monarch palette had a giant, really light matte shade, and I would always set underneath my eyes with that. That just brought me back. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my eyes with the Appeal gel liner in the shade Deep Taupe, and the huge mascara from Stila, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so for my lippy today, I'm gonna go ahead and use NYX London. I'm gonna use the lip liner first to line my lips, and then the soft matte lip cream, which I love this. It's such a beautiful, interesting brown nude. Alright, so this is the finished look, so I went ahead and put my hair down, and I feel very fall right now, which was definitely the goal with this palette, sweater weather. So I do really like how it ended up looking. I would say that overall this palette is not 100% my personal style, but I do like different elements in it, and I am definitely excited to keep using it. Like I said, I could have taken this palette and put it down to 9 shades. In fact, just let's see, just in case you're curious, I would probably keep Frosty, Harvest, Tea, Pine. There's 4. I would keep Cider and Syrup, or Syrup, however you want to say it. And then I think I would keep Crisp, Cozy, and Bonfire, and I think that would be a really nice 9 shades if I could edit it down a little bit. But overall, the packaging's super cute. It does give a very fall vibe, so I like it, and the quality was pretty good. Like I said, the only one I had a little bit of an issue with was flannel. I feel like that one's not quite as soft as some of the other mattes, but definitely did get it to work out, and I think that the metallic formula has been improved even more, which I really enjoy. So overall, I do like it from first impression. Of course, there's still shades I haven't played with and combinations I'd like to do with this palette. Hopefully I'll have time to do that soon, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to know if you kind of dig this fall vibe, or what your version of fall makeup is. I'd love to hear. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.